Well, hello. Welcome to episode 160 of the Confident Live Marketing Show. My name is Ian Anderson Gray. We go live twice every single week, and we also make this into a podcast as well. And in today's episode, we're talking about cool marketing experiments with Social Champ. And I've got a special guest I'm going to bring in now. We've got Samir Ahmed Khan. How are you doing?
Hey Ian, I'm doing perfect. How are you?
Awesome.
Thank you for inviting.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Well, it's been far too long. It's been far too long since we've seen each other. We were just talking about the fact that it was probably like 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's probably 3 years ago. We met in Manchester.
Yeah, I know. Well, a few other things have been happening the last couple of years, which have obviously meant it's been a bit difficult, but we're not going to talk about that. So where are you dialing in from today?
Today I'm in Pakistan, Karachi.
Karachi, awesome. I've never been, but it looks like. I mean, I see your photos, and it looks like a beautiful place. And
Yeah,
is it quite a techie place? Or a lot of tech startups going on in Pakistan?
Yeah. So the ecosystem is really getting boosted, and a lot of tech startups are coming up, and they're getting acquired. So it's a good place to be right now. There's a lot of technology and startups coming up.
That's awesome. It's great to hear. I mean, it's really interesting to see like all there are different like places around the world where it's easier or to have a tech startup. Obviously the San Francisco is like the big place, but there are loads of other places around the world. I think Manchester's got a bit of one where I am, so probably not as big as other places. So yeah, I think it's probably time to get on with the show. If you are watching live, welcome. It's great to have you here. And my camera's just decided to die. This is what I told you, Samir. Live. I've got a spare camera just in case this happens. So, but if you've just joined, welcome. If you've got any questions for myself or Samir, we're going to be talking about marketing experiments. I'll look at the right camera. Marketing experiments. We'll also be looking at Social Champ as well because it's a cool tool. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's get on with it. I'm going to fix my camera and we're going to get on with the show. Hello! Welcome to episode 160 of the Confident Live Marketing Show. In today's episode, we're talking about cool marketing experiments with the cool social media management tool, Social Champ. Let's get on with it. If I can find the button, where is it gone? It is here. Let's get on with it right now.
Welcome to the Confident Live Marketing Show with Ian Anderson Gray.
Helping you level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of confident live video.
Optimize your mindset and communication and increase your confidence in front of the camera.
Get confident with the tech and gear.
And get confident with the content and marketing.
Together, we can go live!
Well, hello. Welcome to the show. My name's Ian Anderson Gray. And in today's episode, we're talking about two kind of things. We're talking about content marketing, but also we're getting a bit techie and talking about how you can use certain tools. And in particular today, we're talking about Social Champ. Now, I've talked a lot on the show about live video tools. We've done Ecom Live and Wave Video and all these cool tools out there. We've looked a little bit of social media management tools in the past. We've covered Agora Pulse, but I've not really taught that much about, I've not really talked at all about Social Champ. And Social Champ is a really, really cool tool. And they've been doing some really amazing things recently. They've just released lots of like new plans and everything like that. So we're going to be talking about that. But if you are watching live, welcome. I can see we've got Salim saying salam. Great to see you. We've got Rao watching on Facebook saying your time is limited. This is great advice. Your time is limited, so don't waste it by living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. I like that. This is Samir's got some very, very intelligent people in in his community. And we've got David, my good friend David, watching from sunny Wigan, saying, hello, Ian, Samir, from David in sunny Wigan. Great to see you. Well, I think it's time to introduce to you Samir, who is a good friend of mine. We haven't seen each other for quite a while, but Samir Ahmed Khan is a startup CEO trainer, marketer, and skill developer with a degree in computer science from the University of Karachi. He was recognized as a Nokia Developer Champion, Microsoft Certified Professional and Specialist, Microsoft Community Speaker, and former Microsoft Student Partner. Currently, he works full-time for his tech startup and marketing solution, Social Champ, which is a social media management tool that he manages with his two best friends and co-founders. Samir also travels to train and conduct talks at multiple events organized by TEDx, IEEE, Google, Facebook, USAID, Nokia, and more. Well, it is time to introduce to you Samir. Welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much. That was a great introduction. Just loved being on the show. Great power, great energy.
Well, you know, we like to roll out the red carpet, and as I said, it's been a while. So we've actually for podcast listeners won't be able to see this, but on the screen, do you want to describe, Samir, what we're seeing on the screen at the moment?
I think that was one of the great. You're giving me a tour on Manchester, and in the city, and I think this was a library, and we were just looking, checking out the books, the piano. And this was painting I was done, and we're trying to be Harry Potter or something like that.
I think so. It's something like that. Yeah. So it's really funny because you were in London and you got in touch. You said, "Oh, it'd be great to meet up in Manchester." And I remember you were wanting to. You said to me later, like, is there anywhere in the country we could go to? Unfortunately not. Like, this is Manchester, the city, but I just come like more from the country. So like next time you're over, Samir, I will show you some British countryside. We'll have to make it happen.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I was on the train and I saw all the farms, the greenery, and I was like, oh, that could be amazing.
Indeed. But anyway, so let's get in with the topic of today. I can see we've got some wonderful people watching live. We've got VISNJA watching from Croatia, watching on LinkedIn. Great to see you. And I know we've got a lot of people watching from your channel, Samir. We're broadcasting not just to my channels, but also to Samir. So if you are watching on Samir's Facebook or YouTube, welcome. I'm Ian Gray. You're probably wondering who on earth I am. I'm the host of the Confident Live Marketing Show. So I'm just trying to remember. Can you remember like how we first met? I know we met at Social Media Marketing World, or we saw each other at Social Media Marketing World. But I think we saw each other before because of the social media world. Can you remember?
I think it was. I was reading your blog, trying to filter some speaker sessions that I need to attend in Social Media Marketing World, and I think that was in 2016. So 2016, Social Media Marketing World. I meet you over there, and I just was enchanted by the tools that you are sharing. These are the tools you should use for social media and all those gears. And I was like, by degree, I'm a computer science student. So technology, geek stuff. That makes me talk to the person more. So I just kind of like thought that you would be good friends. I think after your session, I came to you. I spoke to you. And then I think that's when I introduced the company, and I said I'm gonna the tool is used by a guy Kawasaki, and you were like, okay, that's good. And I think from that day, I think we became good friends.
Yeah, definitely. No, I it's funny, like all these conferences merge into one, and it's difficult to remember these things. But that was awesome. I'm just gonna do one thing, Samir, because I think your audio. Can you say something now? We can.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now. On that, it's just on the solo shot. It just decided to mute you. So.
Okay.
But anyway, it's absolutely fine. So. One of the topics when we were emailing each other to for you to come onto the show, you kind of came up with a few ideas of what we could talk about. One of them was about lessons from previous startups. And I'd love to know, like, how have you got to where you are today? We're both techies. We love tech. You've got a computer science degree, so you're far more techie than me and far more knowledgeable than me on this. But like, can you tell us, like, how did you get into what you're doing today? Because like, a social media tool is kind of like this. It's both like tech and marketing and social all kind of mixed into one. So tell me a bit more.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was graduating, I was in university, and we were looking at all our startups. So we thought that, one day we need to have our own startup. But to have your own startup, you need some fundings, some money to run the kitchen. So we thought, let's just bootstrap and open a consulting business, like a software consulting business. Since 2011 and 12, I think we made a startup called Ozil Systems, a software consulting company. So we tried to run that, saved some money, try to put that into an idea which was called Game Chat. It was a gaming platform. So we made a product called a gaming platform, and then we started sharing with other people. It won a lot of competitions, Microsoft's Imagine Cup competition from the region. So we couldn't actually launch that product because we thought that it wasn't perfect. The mistake that we did was that it was basically a gaming platform. So you could actually chat with one another and actually play games, like you have Ludo and tic-tac-toe. You could play games. The only reason we stopped and didn't work on it was we were too late to launch the product. So the advice, the lesson we learned was always create an MVP, which is a minimal viable product, and then launch it in the product, get some feedback. So it took us 3 years to make that product, and we spent a lot of time, like a month actually deciding what should be the name of the product, the UI, the logo, and then at that time we had to say, we thought ourselves that once we launch, millions of people would use the product. So we thought about scaling and billions of people using the product. So we thought that we should be on iOS, we should be on Android, we should be on web, and the games should actually be accessible through Windows 8, which was newly launched at that time. So I think that was a great mistake we did, that we did try to do everything in a single go without even launching the product, without even getting some feedback from users. So that's the lesson we learned from the first product, which was Game Chat. The second one, Social Champ, is the fourth one, by the way. And it came by an accident. And it's an interesting story. The second lesson that I learned from the startup was educating dreams. It was a platform where you could actually find poor people who wanted to study, and actually you could tell them these are the schools, NGOs that would fund you and support you. So we tried to create that product, and we realized that there's a monopoly of NGOs and organizations, and they don't want to be exclusive on the platform. They don't want to be collaborating with one another. It's just like ambulance services, different ambulance services, but they don't want to collaborate with one another, right? An ambulance could be closer to a patient, but they don't want to collaborate, even though their vision and mission is to save life, right? So there was a monopoly of that stuff. And we were like, I thought to myself, once I get more rich, maybe I'll support this platform and, get those kids to the right school. So we created the platform. I think we put 8 months onto it. And then we realized, there's a monopoly. It's very tough to fight with the big giants. So that's something we paused. The third was a startup called RemindZap. It had an option to get funded. It was incubated at the Nest.io in Karachi, Pakistan, a tech incubator. And we were trying to, so here's a very interesting story. To market the product better, I was researching on marketing strategies. And the RemindZap basically was a product which was a notification-based app where you could actually get reminded that there's an event coming up. You can RSVP people who would be attending or not. So it was based on escalated messages. So it was a notification-based app. The reason it failed, the lesson we learned over there was product feedback is very necessary. And the reason was, and the funny thing was that we did a survey. Asked 100 plus strangers if they would use the product or not. They said 70% said we would use the product. And we were like, we have found the biggest jackpot, because anything above 60 is basically people who are dying to use it. So we launched the product. And once it was in the market, we expected millions of downloads. But the problem was we didn't have millions. We just had 100 or 200 downloads. And then I told my team, you know what? Retention numbers are more important. Not the downloads. That's a vanity metric. So let's just focus on retention rate. So 1 week ago, 1 week there was 60% people using the product again and again. Next day it became on to 20%, then 10%, then 1%, and then 1% was consistent. And I told my team, you know what? Let's just track this one person, this one user who's using the product daily, and we can study them and then write a whole use case on it. And that one person, was my QA team in the office. So nobody was using the product, right? And then we got a funding opportunity, but we said, you know what? And then again, for marketing of this product, I researched some strategies. I came across the book of Guy Kawasaki and Pat Fitzpatrick called The Art of Social Media. I read that book, and that book, there was a concept called The Art of Repeating Tweets multiple times, and so I just read the concept, and I said, the concept is you repeat a tweet multiple times. So for example, it's just like a news channel, right? You wake up, you see the same news. In the noon, you see the same news. In the evening, you see the same news, right? So it's basically repeating your content multiple times, so that people on Twitter, it was based on chronological order, right? It was based on time. So and life of a tweet was around, I think, 5 or 10 minutes. Once you tweeted, it got lost in the feed. So you had to tweet multiple times. So I said, this would work. So we tested this concept of repeating a tweet manually, and we repeated, and we saw that the clicks rate increased, the traffic increased, because every tweet carried some clicks and traffic with it. And we were like, this is a good concept. And nobody realized that it's a repeated tweet. Nobody got pissed. And we were actually hesitant at first, because what if somebody tells me that, you're repeating a tweet multiple times, you don't have a life, right? But the real idea would be that if he is able to see my tweet at 7 a.m., at 1 p.m., at 6 p.m., actually he doesn't have a life. Right? How could possibly you see a tweet from the same person so many times? So we took this idea forward. I did a research on tools that were available at that time that it could actually repeat the tweet, because I thought this is a small feature, probably tools would actually have it. So I looked into the competitors, I couldn't find this reputation tool. So I told my co-founder Zohaib that, let's just make this product. And he said, luckily my birthday was coming in 2 weeks. So he said, I'm going to gift you the backend. And then I tried to do some front end stuff. And then on the weekend, on my birthday, we made the product, and he did the backend work. And it was like in-house project. I started using it myself. I had some friends in e-magazines in Pakistan. I shared it with them, and they started using the product. And their comment was that even if your third startup does not work, please don't turn this link down. It is very helpful to us, right? And I think in the pictures you could see there's analytics where I'm showing you some click numbers that when you launched it, there's a magazine in the US called Success Magazine. They wrote a single tweet, and in a single tweet, they got 90 clicks. They repeated the same tweet 5 times, and I think they got 360 clicks. That's, I think, in the image that we took from it. So there's 360 clicks is better than 90, right? That's the basic question. So we made the product, and how I happened to meet Guy. Guy tweeted once on Twitter, which was, again, my point. Don't underestimate the power of Twitter. So Guy tweeted, who read my book, and I said, I read your book, The Art of Social Media, and I made a test project out of it, which repeats a tweet. To my astonishment, he replied to the tweet saying, does it repeat? Does it post a picture? Does it delete the previous tweet? I was like, why do you want to delete the previous tweet? And then I realized, you shouldn't, your timeline shouldn't look spammy. So he tweeted once, waited for 8 hours, deleted the first tweet, saved the analytics, and tweeted the fresh tweet again. I'm like, this is a great concept. So he implemented that, made that feature, shared it again with Guy. But this time Guy didn't reply. I waited for 24 hours, 48 hours. I'm like, you know what? I got to screenshot it. So I took a screenshot of the entire conversation Guy had with me on Twitter, sent email to Guy, hey Guy, we spoke on Twitter, and this is the thing we made. I implemented the feature. This is the link. Again, the product had no link. It was socialchamp.herokuapp.com, which is a test URL. Socialchamp was just a name that I took, I kept it without thinking. And so guy said he could use it. Can he use the product? I said yes. So he started using the product, giving feedback, told us to make it in company, get a better domain, fix the UI, make an iOS app, make a Chrome extension. And that's actually when we made this company into a company, and we stopped our third product, which was by an accident.
Wow, that's like an amazing story, and it's so helpful to hear how you learned from those mistakes. The whole minimum viable product, but also like it shows that relationships matter. And you read the book by Peg and Guy, and then you reached out to Guy, and he kind of like made it happen. Or he helped it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We've got somebody watching on LinkedIn. I unfortunately can't see who you are, but it's you say extremely inspiring, great insights, Ian and Samir. That's great, awesome, thank you. And we've got MUNEEB watching on Facebook. Hey folks, you guys look good. Thank you. We do try our best. So I'd love to know a little bit more about Social Champ, and I had a question from my community. In fact, if you want to find out a little bit more about my community, you can head on down to, so if I can get it up here. The overlay is not working, but never mind. It is confident.live/community. That's confident.live/community, and it's using Volley, which is a new cool tool. If you want to get involved and ask questions in the future, then that is where you should go. But here's the question from Jeff.
Hey Ian, you mentioned Social Champ is going to be your tomorrow's episode. I would love to know what the difference is between, it's a scheduling tool is what you mentioned in your Volley, and you mentioned that it was a social scheduling tool. I want to know what's different about that compared to the other ones, say like Agora Pulse or Planoly or some of those other ones that a lot of people, different people use. So what's different about Social Champ? Is it easier to run experiments on? Because you mentioned you're going to talk about some experiments. So I would love to know, exactly how and why this tool is different from everything else.
Awesome. Yeah. So thanks for that, Jeff. And it's probably kind of an annoying question for you, Samir, because a lot of people ask what you want to compare your tool, Social Champ, with other tools. But I think it's how we get our heads around it. And, particularly if you're using another tool, like say Hootsuite or Agora Pulse. I mentioned that Social Champ is a scheduling tool, but it is more than that. So maybe you can help Jeff and the rest of us with that question.
That would be amazing. It's a great question. And you're right. I do get asked a lot about this. And it's really good to ask about it because it helps me to, think more and tell more. So basically, Social Champ is a social media entire platform. We started with a social media scheduling tool. And then we started with integrating Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Google business profiles, and we're also working on TikTok. So the difference is basically it's a scheduling tool, and again, experiments, we have repetitions with auto deletes previous, and there are features, for example, repetitions, which I spoke about. You can repeat a tweet, delete automatically the previous tweet, and retweet again, you save analytics. So that's something differentiating. But other than that, the major difference we have is in pricing. So we recently launched a freemium plan, which is much powerful than any others. We give you every feature. Every feature is unlocked. We give you 3 social profiles. So we figured out that, small business people, small single people who are single founders, who cannot afford such, pricey social media tools. So we gave them a freemium plan which is for life, and it is all features are unlocked. So that's first, we are actually lower and cheaper in price, is we are more affordable. Other thing is that we have not just scheduling, so we are scheduler, then we also have engage, which is social inbox, which you guys speak about. We're trying to envision it as a CRM support. So it's a social CRM right now, which has Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, where you can reply, and Instagram, where you can reply to people, immediately. There's automated replies. So that's something other tools also have. We're trying to, make it more efficient and go into the social CRM space, because we envision Social Champ as a company that would help businesses grow. So we have a scheduling tool. We have engage, and then we also have analytics, which is much more, deeper analytics. You can generate a PPT, you can have a present PPT in a PowerPoint. You can have a PDF, and then we have a powerful calendar, which I really our team basically took some time to write the calendar, which is super easy to use. So it's a very powerful calendar where you could see multiple social profiles aggregated in a single calendar. And then we have some powerful automations, right? We have recycle content. You can recycle your evergreen content multiple times. We have auto posting through RSS. So there's some different features we have. There's team collaboration, but the real gist, or if you use a lot of social media tools, if you want to know some great differences, it is about the pricing. It's about the most easiest to use. So it's very simple and easy to use as compared to other platforms, because the problem is when you try to bring more features, the user experience gets complex. So we really work hard. We iterate multiple times, take feedback. So that's how Social Jam is kind of like different from the competition. We have features that are unique that nobody has. We have integrations. Some schedulers have, like Canva, Trello. They're integrated with Social Jam. But the major difference is the usability, the design, and the pricing. Basically, that's where we compete. And other than that, features is a war. It's an endless war. You keep innovating. You keep innovating.
No, you're so right, and I think you've come such a long way from when I first started using Social Champ, because back then I believe it was just a social media scheduling tool, and I don't mean that in a negative way, because like the features that you offered at the time were like really amazing. There were other tools. I seem to remember using a tool called Social Oomph or something, but it was so complicated to use. Like you had to have like a computer science degree to kind of work it out. Whereas with Social Champ, it just was very simple to use. And I just want to say, by the way, like, I've invited Samir onto the show because I really like Social Champ and I'm good friends with Samir. And, I've not been paid for any of this. This is purely like, I just really love the tool. So I just wanted to make that clear. But so I want to delve a little bit more into some of the other aspects of Social Champ, but maybe we can do that in a bit, because what I want to dig into is some of these social media experiments, and particularly when it comes to some of the really cool things that we're focusing on now as social media marketers are like Reels and live video and things like that. Now, obviously, Social Champ is not a live video tool, but it can help with some of these things, and I'd love to know a little bit more about that. I can see that David has posted something. He says, I remember, he's reminiscing about the past. In those early days, Samir developing a specific RSS feed application to suit my particular need, and I'll always be grateful to Ian for telling me about Social Champ in the first place. That is awesome. And it just shows, like, the attention to detail, Samir, that and listening to your customers, and, that is amazing. So can you tell us a little bit more about some of these social media experiments, in particular like that to do with Reels and other things? Because I'd love to know how we can actually use a tool like Social Champ to really help us in our marketing, because quite frankly, it seems that marketing is becoming, particularly social media marketing, is becoming more and more difficult.
Yeah, I think first of all, David, thank you so much. I remember, David, that in the early days, Ian, you introduced me to David, and then he just kept asking for features, recommending, finding bugs, reporting to us. He needed this feature, customizing feature, and then once we did that, a lot of customers actually took benefit of it. So again, thank you, David, for helping us in the initial days. We just love you for all the support, and he just gave great examples. Thank you for all the support. And again, asking about strategies for using Social Jam. I think Reels, we did an experiment. Let me just quickly go through an experiment that we did in the initial phases, which has nothing to do with Social Jam. Okay, so again, I just don't want this to be entirely Social Jam, something we could actually relate to. So when we launched the product, Social Jam, we thought that influencer marketing would be something that would be something amazing, and that's something only we need to focus on. So we spoke to some influencers, like Guy introduced the product to multiple people, and people started sharing about it. But the issue with influencer marketing was that the spike in traffic was for a limited time. Let's say somebody shares it tomorrow, the spike stays for 3-4 days, and then the traffic goes down. So realize this is not a consistent strategy. This is not something that will keep us live for a long time. And then we started focusing on content marketing, powered by influencer marketing and writing content, looking at the keywords and working on SEO. So for any person who's watching right now who wanted to start a startup, who want to do a business, I think you should also focus on content marketing, SEO, because that is something that gives you consistent traffic. You can do social media, you can go viral, for limited days, 3 days, 4 days. You can make a reel that I'll speak about. Like, you can make a reel that can go viral, but till the time that reel is viral, you would get traffic. And it could not be a traffic that is your customer, but still that's a traffic. But if you work on content marketing, if you rank on good keywords, that will land great customers whose intent would be to buy or purchase the product. So that's something we learned after a long time, but we are glad we learned it. We started focusing on that. So influencer marketing, social media marketing, ads, those are some bonus that we say. But content marketing, SEO, collaborating, there are multiple ways you can collaborate in blogs. But that is something that gives us consistent traffic. So that's the strategy, overall business strategy that we started focusing on. The other strategy with Social Champ basically you can implement is by using the recycle content feature that we really love. And I love to share this with your audience, that let's say you're a restaurant and your job is to sell food and engage with customers, and you have to even post, because in this era, we know that Facebook posts, organic posting is dying, right? But we have to post on Facebook just to tell the people we are alive, just for the sake of posting. We have to post the content, right? And luckily, some content could go right. So the strategy is, let's say you have a restaurant and you want to post on, and you don't have time to post on social media. So you can do is that you can create a folder on Social Champ or any of your favorite tools. You can create a folder, let's say Monday motivation quotes, right? And you can you can use a bulk upload. It downloads an Excel sheet, or you can fill that Excel or CSV file with the content, or you can just upload it one by one, fill the folder with the content of Monday motivation posts, and then you can create another folder, let's say discounts, or let's say Friday discounts, right? And you can put your discounts on that folder. Now, the recycle content is something you can create a campaign and tell the software, the Social Champ, that pick one post from this folder and post it on Monday, 3 p.m., right? Or maybe 10 a.m. if you wake up early, right? So every Monday, it's going to pick one post and then post it. And then on this next Monday, it's going to pick the second post, and the third, and the fourth, and the fifth, and it's going to restart, right? So if you work, if you want to work 2-3 hours and just one time you use all your energy, you can create folders and multiple folders with multiple strategies. Multiple folders, let's say Monday motivations. On Friday, you schedule made a campaign to repeat a discount on 6-7 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, you can fill all your days in, put the recycle button. And now if you see the calendar in Social Champ, you could see those recycled posts that are endless. You can also set an end date to it, but also you can set it for forever unless you stop the campaign. So it's something that we do it a lot for our evergreen content that we think there are blog posts, there is content that we would like to be reshared multiple times in a week, in a month, or maybe in a year. That's a good strategy you can put in place if you have less time, and then you can focus on replying to customers. So in Social Champ, all the replies that you get on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn would fall in one window. You can reply to them, automate them, so that you can reply to those people, look analytics, and basically focus on your business. Try to sell good food, right? Let the tools handle your social media's heavyweight. Yeah.
I think that's so important what you just said, that a tool like Social Champ can really help with partly automating the posting and the scheduling, but don't become a one-way communication machine. You do need to get in there, build those relationships. And as you said, Samir, if it wasn't for you engaging with Guy Kawasaki right at the start, who knows where you'd be today. So I think tools like Social Champ can really help with that, but it also helps with the engagement side of things. And I think I haven't actually had a chance to look at the social inbox part of Social Champ. I'm really looking forward to having a look at that, because that aspect of social tools has really changed things for me. Because when you're you know, who has time to go over to Instagram and then over to Facebook and then to Twitter and to juggle all of those messages all at the same time? So it actually allows you to be more human and connect more with having it in one place. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, that's amazing. That's true. It makes the connection more human. They know that it's a human behind the brand. It's not a logo they're talking to, right? So I think that's important.
Now, one thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the fact that it is becoming more and more difficult to get the engagement on social media. I mean, you talked about it on Facebook, you know, organic posts. And it seems like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, they are making it more difficult for us to not necessarily automate things, but they're just making it more difficult. Like in particular in Twitter, you know, like with the whole repeating tweets thing. So in 2020, whatever year we're in now, you know, how can we remain being human, the human side of our brands? How can we stay within the rules of social media so that we don't, so they don't kind of demote our social media efforts? And how do we actually stay ahead of the S curve that I was hearing Mike Stelzner talking about the social media marketing world, that the social media channels now are just making it much more difficult for us. So how do we do that?
Yeah, that's. I think the question, the more important thing is that there's social media, and you need to be aware that there's a world beyond social media, right? And it's not just Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. You got to fuel up these platforms with all the internet, the places that are available. For example, there's Reddit, there's Hacker News, right? So let's say you're trying to promote a podcast, you're trying to promote a book, you're trying to sell something. You can ask genuine feedback, not just from Facebook, Twitter, but also on Reddit and Hacker News. So I did an experiment. So in the early days when we were trying to create a landing page, you could see Social Champ has orange color in the logo, right? So it was all oranges, and we thought, you know what, we just need to use the orange color. So we tried to design the landing page, and we took the orange color, and I just asked a question on Reddit asking, is orange color good for a landing page or not? That's the question I asked in the community, in the channel, and a lot of people, started giving me answers, showing me landing pages that are orange, that are doing better. Some of them even asked me, "What's the link you're developing?" And then I shared the URL. It was not on the main question that this is a link. It would look like as if I'm trying to promote the page, right? So. And then it got a lot of comments. So you could try to fuel your other social media, other channels with other platforms. Now, coming back to social media, I think the way to stay ahead of the game is to keep using and implementing the newer features that these platforms bring in, right? When Facebook Live was new, everybody was jumping onto it, and the people who jumped on the very start, like you, got major chunk of the users, right? Eventually, now it's Reels. Facebook Reels are coming up. So people are hesitant when there's a new feature rolling up. But, social media managers, marketers, they try to adopt and embrace this change so that they could be ahead of the people. So if you're asking me right now, Reels, they're heavily investing on Reels because TikTok was trying to compete with Facebook, and they kind of like outdid with the numbers. So if you use the features that are latest, the platforms are bringing in, that's something will get you ahead of the algorithm. Now, again, you could be ahead of the algorithm, but it doesn't mean that your content quality would be, it doesn't count. So again, the quality matters. So the video, again, is like we have been saying for 3-5 years that it's the king. It's, people want to see more videos. And now I see another trend with mute videos, right? People are making videos, but it's all text, right? They do all the crazy stuff, they do. I think we did on Instagram. We tried to experiment this on Instagram. We made a reel. A team member of mine, they made a reel, and it was very creative. It was classic. They made a reel and they showed content, and it kind of surprisingly did much better than any social media Instagram post we had. And then we made a part 2 of it, and that also did very good. And that's an Instagram reel we made with a video and just text, going on the screens up and down. And we're like, wow, this is going good. So feed the algorithm what it wants, the newest features, and try to make content that's unique, because entire world is trying to post text, right? If your post is engaging, if it try to get comments. I think that's the main thing. Focus on that. Would people share this post or not? I really try to make content that thinking that would I share this content or not. So create that stuff, and you would see the content going up. But use the entire internet. I'm telling you, just don't rely on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
We all need to hear that. Don't just rely on Facebook, because and don't just rely on social media. I mean, I was going to pick up on what you said earlier, which is like invest in content on your website, SEO, and your email newsletter maybe, and things like that, and podcasting as well. Podcasting is still not going away. It's YouTube and LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook even are all adding podcasting to their network. So it is a big thing. So I think Reels, it's really interesting. Reels have been around for a while, either on TikTok or Instagram. But it's interesting to see, like, really now this is the year for that, and Facebook are actually paying a lot of money out to influencers out there who are creating this. And I've heard this with YouTube Shorts as well. YouTube are desperate for short form content. And so now is the time to be creating it. And it doesn't need to be difficult. I'd love to know a little bit more about how have you personally been using Reels, Samir? I know your social champ has. Tell us a little bit more about how you or social champ have been using Reels.
Yeah, I think we have been using Reels. I have my own TikTok account, so I made some content in the early days. I tried to do all this crazy stuff, the coughing, the dialogues, trying to mimic the dialogues and all that. But then I created another account, which was like an official, like that gave information about social media, and I think the response has been really good. I myself, I just sit on one day, 3-4 hours, I can create 6, 7, 8 videos, record it in a single time, and then it goes for editing, and then it gets posted on TikTok, and it did really good. There were people who were interested in learning social media. They got specific content they wanted to learn. It's not dragging the concept. It's not dragging and then later coming to the point, which is only 30 seconds. It's just you have to be on the point. You can't drag the entire topic. So I tried doing experiments on that. I tried doing experiments on my page using those TikTok videos and tried reposting it on Instagram. At that time, it was IGTV video. It did really good over there. And then I reposted that again on Facebook. So my target was TikTok, but then I started repurposing the same content on Instagram, IGTV, and on Facebook. And now, since Instagram has fully supported this concept, Reels, and Facebook is supporting it, this YouTube Shorts that you mentioned, the life got easier. You can just create a content and then broadcast it to everywhere, all those platforms. So it's really helpful. It's very engaging. People get short answers, and again, I think one thing you mentioned was emails. Try to focus on emails. There's one crazy story I remembered. So in the early days, again, you make a lot of mistakes. So we thought emails were people sign up, we don't want to shoot them email, just a welcome email, that's it. And we just didn't automate that. We didn't make a sequence of it. Right, we didn't make entire campaign, a drip campaign. So I think 1 year, 2 years later, when we thought that, we need to focus on emails because we heard that it's a golden nugget. You directly go into the inbox of a user, you kind of catch their attention. So that's when we first time broadcasted an email. After 1.2 years, we emailed our customers that, hey, how's it going? These are the features, blah, blah, blah. And the funny story is, around 3 to 4 people said, we never signed up for Social Champ. Where did the email come from? And they kind of signed up into the product. We had that email in the database. And we were like, so the lesson we learned was that, people sign up and they forget, right? Emails, even though people find it sometimes annoying, you shouldn't annoy people. But if you're trying to email them good content, you're trying to be in their inbox, teach them something good, they kind of remember the brand, the name of the product. They try to remember you get into their head, right? They know that you exist. So that's the lesson we learned. And since then, we tell all the companies and the startups that, you know what, once you sign up, send them an email, make a sequence that, after 3 days, send an email, after 7 days, automate that stuff. But it's important because after 1 year, if you try to email them, they're going to say that we never signed up for your product. How did you get our email address?
I wish I could say I didn't have a similar experience, but like I think I had quite a few months of procrastinating with email because I think there's a danger of overcomplicating things as well. And sometimes simple is good. I definitely think so. So like with Reels, with live video, I mean, live video is not going away. It might not be as brand new and exciting as it once was, but it's interesting to see like YouTube and Amazon are embracing live video for e-commerce, which is really interesting. How can we use a tool like Social Champ to help with Reels and with live video? Obviously, it can't post the live video, but how can it help, like maybe with promoting that, with getting people to see see the show live or watching the replay, or with the repurposing side of things?
Yeah, I think once you go live, you get a link of the video, right? So what users usually do is that they take that link and then put it on a recycle. So on a reputations, recycle, promoting that podcast. So let's say you have a podcast, so let's say you did a 160, I'm on a 160 right now. So you can have all those 160 podcasts in a single folder for the recycled content. And you can make a day that, you know what, I'm going to post 2 podcasts or 1 podcast on Tuesdays, right? And you can just reshare and hit that schedule button, and you can see everything in the calendar. So you can repurpose the podcast you've already done. That's something this tool Social Champ could help. You can also help, again, if people reply, you can reply through Social Champ. So you can basically engage with the people. Let's say you're going live right now and you have some agents or VAs who are trying to assist you over here. So they can actually reply from Social Champ's inbox and reply to users who are watching this. So that's something this tool can actually do. And again, we are also working right now, it's in beta testing right now. We are also supporting TikTok videos. So we have the API, and in I think in a day or two, I think, or hopefully, we'll get TikTok Reels supported with Social Champ. So you can basically schedule TikTok videos, and they will be directly posted on TikTok. So I think support is kind of support is, I think, kindly opening up with TikTok. Giving the API. If they do it, probably the rest should do it because they are trying to lead the Reels.
That's good. I didn't even know there was like an API with TikTok, but I've not looked into it. So that's really cool. So you need to check out Social Champ. I've got a link. It's an affiliate link. So if you go to iag.me/social champ, that's where you need to go and sign up. There's a free account, which is awesome. And who doesn't want a free account? So you can take it for a test drive. I think you get up to 3 social networks, but you pretty much get everything else. So you can take it for a really, really good test drive and play around with things. And by the time this podcast comes out, TikTok should be on there. So if you're wanting to play around with TikTok, you can go there and have a look. So without kind of telling us any top secret information, Samir, like what's next for Social Champ? What are you working on? What are the secret things?
Okay, so there is some growth hack. There's something that we're going to launch soon. It's kind of like an aggregation of your social media into one place. I can't share in the details, but I think hopefully you should be, we will inform you, but it's like an aggregation of social media where bio actually see everything that you do and your numbers, your bio, that will be accessible. It's kind of different from what you kind of remember, like about.me. It's kind of different. How is different? It's a secret, but I think that's something we're trying to do. But as the company, as Social Champ's ecosystem is concerned, we're trying to go from social media space to social CRM space, and we're trying to see that's how we can help and connect bridge the gap between these, and try to bring influencer marketplace. So it's kind of like it's like a puzzle. Like if you're a businessman right now, if you have a small startup, so the issues we had gone through, we're trying to solve that. So when we launched, we needed influencers, we needed content, we needed to create content, we needed to engage with people. So we're trying to look at different gaps where we could actually unify all that and create into a one ecosystem without complicating the stuff, right? Without, making people think that this platform is not for you and it requires a computer science degree.
We don't want that. I mean, as much as I love tech, we also want it to easy to use. Well, that's awesome. And thank you for giving us a little sneak peek without giving us too much away, because obviously you don't want to do that. But if you go to iag.me/socialchamp, you can sign up for a free account and have a little play. And I'm sure you'll be letting us know when this new feature comes out. So that is awesome. So how can people find out more about you? Obviously the Social Champ, but I know that you're very active on social yourself. You have loads of followers across all your channels, and I know you love it. So where's the best place for people to check you out and follow you?
It's Facebook, Samir Ahmed Khan Official. That's the Facebook page. Instagram, Samir Peace. I share some stuff. That's where I go. Like people I meet, like you. Again, I have a website, but usually I'm active on Facebook and Instagram. That's you can find me. And again, I would love talking to you guys and learn more about social media.
Awesome. Well, do connect with Samir. He is, as you can tell, he's a really nice guy. He's so knowledgeable. And thank you, Samir, for spending this time with us. I know it's a little bit later in the evening, but I really appreciate it. And we need to catch up again very soon. Maybe even at a conference. I mean, that would be amazing. I don't know if you're going to any conferences anytime soon, but hopefully at some point we can do that.
Hopefully. Yeah, when the pandemic, sunrises, there's sunrise in the pandemic, and hopefully travel becomes easy. But yeah, we should.
Yeah, definitely. There is light at the end of the tunnel, I hope. But well, thank you, Samir. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, or if you're listening to the podcast, for plugging us into your ears. Really appreciate that. And of course, if you haven't come across the podcast before, all you need to do is go to iag.me/podcast. That's iag.me/podcast. Thank you, David, for your awesomeness, for Tynet saying awesome, and Minishi saying salam. Great to see you guys watching. Thank you so much for your contributions today. But until next time, I encourage you to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of confident live video. See you soon. Bye.
Thanks for watching the Confident Live Marketing Show with Ian Anderson Gray.
Make sure you subscribe at iag.me/podcast so you can continue to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of live video.
And until next time,
Toodaloo.